The Muncie Civic Theater. It has gone through great changes, from different locations to remodeling of the current building and its illustrious 78-plus year history. The theater has been a staple in the Muncie community since 1931. The Civic has always been a place where people of all ages can come and learn to express themselves. The Muncie Civic Theater is still as relevant today as it was back during its inception. We asked some people who were involved with the theater some questions about the organization, and this is what they had to say.
Well, how can I describe the people who work here? Well, they're very special. I think they're very special because they're not doing this for a paycheck. They're not doing this because we're giving them money. They're doing it because they're passionate of theater and they love theater. And it's so important, I think, in our day and age to have things that you want in your life that help you and make you happy. And we really try to have fun here. We focus on the family here. We focus on you having fun. Obviously, if your life becomes more important, that's what's more important is your life. I always put education before volunteering. When students come in and they're in high school and elementary and their grades start to suffer, I say, well, then you can't do theater for a while. And I kind of back up their parents in that. But having people who are passionate about what they do makes the job very easy because they come in, they give 100%, they really want to do a good job, and we're very blessed here. We have an amazing talent pool of people who volunteer their time, and I mean, I've seen a lot of actors and a lot of professional actors, and we have people in Muncie that are professional level, but they're just volunteers. So to say they're just volunteers is, kind of shortchanges them because they really are passionate about what they do. And they really are very, very talented. And they can move an audience. And that's what we're trying to do is tell a story and move an audience and tell a story with passion so that people really understand what we're trying to say.
I would say the subscribers. People that attend and love theater like I do. I would say the members, the membership.
I'm a great believer in the person at the top makes a difference in any organization. So every time there was a change in the executive director or the artistic director, then the theater took a little jog or a little he or a little haw. But it was fine because there's room for all aspects in the theater. But I do believe that the people who are at the top direct that and make things happen. Now they'll also close this down and go to this. That's all right. We do have to move on. Just because it worked once doesn't mean it works all the time or it works forever. Change is inevitable in life, and it is in theater.
There are definitely a lot of people. I don't think I could pinpoint one specific person, but I mean, Marty has been a huge part of that. He's given me a lot of opportunities here, from teaching the youth classes to allowing me to direct on my own, like really giving me a chance as a student to do that, taking me to camp and having me teach theater camp with him 2 summers ago and things like that. So he definitely has had a huge role for me getting more involved in theater, but there are people in every single show that I'm in that have really made a huge difference. So
every time you work backstage, every time you work on stage, everything, any little thing you do in theater changes where you are in your life. It really does. And every different character you play, you become that person for that period of time. You leave the child that your mother birthed aside, and you become that character. And it just opens up all new venues for you. And also, every show is like a little family. You get to know these people, and you're drawn to them, and you'll know them forevermore, wherever you see them or wherever they go and wherever you happen to meet outside of theater. They belong, a little part of them belongs to you, as does a little part of you belongs to them.
just being my friends, theater friends, yeah. And I have this big passion for this theater. I would do anything, and I have done anything. I've cleaned toilets and scrubbed floors and swept, So I love this theater, and I would not want it to demolish. I wouldn't want to see it go away because we need it.
Back in the 70s, the organization was very blessed to have an amazing volunteer come aboard. His name was Eugene Mumma, and he was asked to do a poster here at Civic, and it was actually for a fundraiser. And he said, "Oh, I'd be glad to do it." And when he brought it in, they gave him the information, and when he brought it in, it was this beautiful piece of art. It was just a poster for a fundraiser. It just had dates and things like that, but it was gorgeous. And the people were like, "Would you like to help more?" So this is like 1973. So Eugene became a volunteer here at Muncie Civic, and he did our show posters for many, many, many years, from 1973 until 2003. 2003 was the last season that he did artwork for. He unfortunately had cancer and passed away at the end of 2003 and never saw the 2004 season. So his work is amazing. It's New York line drawing. You don't see it anymore. It's just the fashion and the high art content of it is moving. And the funny thing is that Eugene just thought it was him drawing posters for a show. He didn't look at it as art. He would sketch the things and just have them laying around his home. And he actually does these wonderful little burlesque drawings of burlesque style women. And he was going to sell some of those as a fundraiser for our organization. And the people who were going to do the show for him said, "Well, how much do you think we should charge for these?" And he just kind of laughed and said, "Oh, I don't know, probably 25 cents. Nobody's going to want them." So he didn't understand what he was producing at all. They sold for about $150 each at that fundraiser, and they sold out. And he had to produce more of them so that they could do another fundraiser for it. So he had no idea the volunteer time that he was doing, how valuable it was to the theater. He was an amazing artist and never knew what kind of an amazing artist he was. We were very blessed to, from his estate, receive all of the artwork that he'd worked on from us. They gave it to us, so we now own all that artwork. And they also gave us a large box of his sketches and sketchbooks from ideas that he had for our artwork. So we have a really great archive of Eugene Mumma's work, and he was a wonderful East Central Indiana artist that was very unsung and very not really known until after he passed, unfortunately, in 2003. And now people are starting to say, "Wow, that's amazing art. Who does that?" And so I like to talk about Eugene as much as I can because he was a great volunteer. He gave his time and would always come in with great ideas for show posters. And I know you look around the theater, you see a lot of them hanging around. They're wonderful work, and we have a huge collection of them. We'd actually like to maybe put them in a book sometime because we know there's a lot of people that would like to see posters from the shows they were in, but they're put away because we have so many of them that they're hard to display all of them at one time. So Eugene was a great volunteer. I wish we had more like him.